Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca and welcome back to my Pixel Quest and a huge welcome back to our blind playthrough of Ace Attorney Investigations, which I'm so incredibly excited to reconnect with after such a long time. So first off, just a quick apology to anybody who has been watching kind of in real time, because it's been a much bigger break than I anticipated and that I explained in the channel update that I sort of did at the outset of this. But I literally, my life has been very super busy and I could not find the time to, I could barely find the time to keep up with my other recordings and couldn't quite get this. If you're watching in the future, no issue. You're just going from one episode to the next, so you're all good. But yeah, my apologies to people who have been waiting for this next episode. Okay, so where we are is where we're hearing, we're chatting with Lang about why or why not our beloved, sweet, definitely 100% innocent Larry could be a killer when he's definitely not. So he's posing a hypothetical scenario about this pretend weapon that definitely is not a weapon in any way. But I wonder how he's going to spin this. So, what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need. Of course, what I need is evidence even he can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Man, it's beyond time. You have no idea, Edgeworth. You have no idea. We've been waiting a long time for this. Why Larry, Part 2. It's possible to use the samurai sword to kill someone. I mean, it's possible, I suppose, to use anything to kill someone in theory, right? But it's very unlikely. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy, top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? I mean, sorry, that's your whole argument. There's really not much. How long do you intend to cling on to that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of this embassy. So his whole argument is simply that that they haven't found something else. That is weak sauce, Lang. There's no stone we've left unturned. And I can name probably a dozen weapons in this room alone. Even the things that are keeping the flowers up right now. And we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion. That's a huge failing on the part of your, 50-man posse. That the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword.
Hold it!
But have you done forensic tests on everything? You left no stone unturned? Is that a fact?
Not the fact!
If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. So here's another thing that I've noticed upon rewatching the last couple of episodes, just to sort of remind me of things. And I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, so I'm just going to mention it now. I've noticed that in the background of these shots here and in the Bubbly's embassy, they put, they give us a nice clear shot of the clock in both locations, and the times are just slightly different. So the Bubbly's embassy the clock is at just a few minutes before 1:30, and here it's a few minutes after 1:30. So just pointing that out. You might have to make it crystal clear. I mean, we know that Larry is innocent. We know that the sword is not the weapon. We know that this argument is super weak sauce. But I do have to figure out exactly what it is that I need to propose here in order to win this battle. It's possible to use. Well, let's press.
Hold it!
May I inquire as to how you were able to make such a claim, Agent Lang? Langzy says, capable of miracles beyond comprehension, a mysterious creature is man. Rather than man, it's Agent Lang's quotes that are getting increasingly incomprehensible. It's just a bad argument. The human body So he's going back to this argument that he used before, it seems, that essentially the human body is very like, what did he said something like, you know, a person can be killed by being bumped. You know, it wasn't exactly that, but that was sort of the implication. And it's like, yes, you know, like we in some ways we are very, very fragile and vulnerable, but that doesn't mean that you can easily kill someone with what is effectively a plastic toy. Like, even with a toy-like sword, it's easy to kill a man if you hit just the right spot. Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very, very hard though. Which is why I think it's possible to kill with this thing without leaving a dent. Like there's a lot that would need to go into your argument to make this, you know, even a tiny bit plausible though, really. But we can only be sure one way or the other by seeing if the wound matches the sword. I know that. But as long as it's a possibility, I can proclaim it as much as I like. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. Let's press this. The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword? That's right, even with luminol, okay. Which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. Do I have a problem with Agent Lang's assertion that the samurai sword is the weapon? Let me have a little think about this, Edgeworth. Do I have a problem with it? I mean, are we bringing the Yatagarasu key into it? You know, because it's effectively like a blade he didn't know about. I feel like this statue, I don't know, this statue is a possible weapon all on its own. There's also this, because it says its blade has yet to be found. So to me, that's a reasonable argument. And then there's this, the vines are supported by stakes. I mean, I'm 99.9% sure I know exactly what these stakes are. I don't know if the game knows that yet, you know? I don't know if we're allowed to sort of make that assertion yet. So it's probably not this, even though absolutely these are possible weapons. I mean, we've already used this attack, and this is what he's, you know, this, like, he's kind of dismissed this, so it can't be this. I guess it could be a couple of things. Let's raise an objection. If you believe that there is no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you. No, you can't. I won't allow you. And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. Ha. The real murder weapon? I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy, and they've concluded that nothing else could have been used as the weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Absolutely. I can't believe you're that confident that there might be a small amount of information that you're not party to, because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation. So I'm guessing the knife, right? What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigation dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. I'm genuinely wondering which one of the knives it is. Is it the retractable knife, because they wouldn't have known about it? Or is it the knife with the missing blade, because it's not, you know, it's not in existence here? Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damask 2. What exactly is it? The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch. Okay, so by that comment, I guess it's this. Yeah, surely, right?
Take that!
This is the weapon you're looking for.
Welcome back!
Mungzi says one should always perform one's job in the proper manner. Okay, I feel like I've picked the wrong one. And I can't see how it's proper to show me evidence so devoid of potential or relation. Ah, was I mistaken? I sure was. Ha! Now then, Mr. Prosecutor, I'm going to give you one more chance. But only one more, you got that? Because that's all the playtime. Are you really only going to give me one more? I have several more chances in my, in the bar, but I must remain calm and think this through carefully. It's got to be that thing, I just know it. Which not a single person has yet to touch. Am I saying this? It's just a kind of a weird saying not a single person has touched it. Hang on. So actually, clearly, the key phrase here is not a single person has yet to touch. Well, that's... I mean... The statues, they made a point about that, right?
Take that!
Aha! The national treasure of Alabas. You mean the Prima Duck statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. I mean, it's very... Why would this rule apply to a, a big international investigator? Why would Lang put up with someone saying, oh, no, just this one, no, you're not allowed to touch it? Which I believe means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? What is he going to say to this? Ha. Ha 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 ha. You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident. Oh, so he's really of course I wouldn't touch this thing that they say is important between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babal. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined. Yeah, that's what I would think.
Hold it!
Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different. And there is only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba and get him to give us an okay to examine the statue. So he said, I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined, and yet that seems to be precisely what he's saying. He is saying, I was damned and I did let something go unexamined. Until now. Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. Oh, you don't want him to examine the statue, eh? Random dude. He is most definitely trying to trick you. Shifu, please, let's be rational about this. Langzi says, just go already. Yes, sir. It's hard. Yeah, I guess they really take this whole don't touch seriously. Shifu. Way more seriously than people investigating a murder should. Yeah? I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Prima Duck statue. I see. And do we consider that suspicious? Wait! But then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you've got to be tough when you're representing a whole country, you know? Agent Lang, what do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. Well, but Shifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet. I'll take the fall if I have to later. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me. Everyone's fighting over being sort of brave and virtuous. Responsibility, if we're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Whereas you, disposable. Alright then, let's talk and more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminal chemiluminescence test on the statue. A luminol test? Ah, good thinking. It's literally like the way you were examining everything. If the statue is the murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay, let's get the forensics team in here. I don't know, I mean, I don't know if this... Okay, I guess it is just as simple as that. I was going to say, like, what I'm entertaining about this thing is that it could be a... You know, it could have something inside of it. Like it could have, you know, be one of the many objects in this game series with a trick involved. But no, it's just a big statue that, that they hit someone with, maybe. Heh, looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I mean, maybe not, actually. Maybe it still does have something inside of it, like the missing blade. But you know, but blood kind of got on it. I guess this means that this is the real weapon that killed Damask too. Indeed. But I mean, this is very different to a blade. But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damask too, so the charge remains. We are hardly done examining this statue, Agent Lang. Yeah. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Huh, you think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. I don't know really how they're concluding that this is the murder weapon yet. What we've concluded surely is simply there is blood on something. Could be other blood. All right. Ooh, yes. Let's do it. So maybe it's like you press... maybe this highly revered, invaluable gold statue is actually like you press the head and it sort of retracts into the body and then something opens up. It looks like that's going to be the case. Upon closer examination, he really does look a lot like the Steel Samurai. Hey, maybe that's why they chose him to be the Goodwill Ambassador. I actually can't discredit that hypothesis. Or maybe the people at this embassy just really, really like the Steel Samurai. That's absolutely preposterous. I don't think it's that unlikely. We mustn't go around denouncing people's opinion. He's really like, he's really offended that, or it's not even offended, he's really defending that the Steel Samurai could be so important, you know, could rest within, you know, a people's heart so intensely that they make their most important statue in its image. And yet, look at how easily you discredit mine. Not that I care why they chose him. Okay. Well, that is certainly suspicious. That's classically suspicious. And what do we have here? This dirty smudge. It looks like a handprint. What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? That's adorable. He's really enjoying himself. Looks like we've got some fingerprints to analyze. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry. But it looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. Look, it wouldn't at all be unusual if they do belong to Larry, and there'll be some kind of wacky story, you know, behind why he had to move the statue. Hey, forensics guy, I want results on these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me? I was thinking, why is he calling him forensics guy? But I guess this is the, you know, like the Japanese forensics guy. It's not one of his men who he knows all of the details of. Agent Lang, I have the analysis results, sir. Good. And? Sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Bubbly's embassy? The prints belong to him and Mr. Manikochin, sir. Dun dun dun. But that's... makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. What's going on around here? No, that's impossible. Each Primadux statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But I laughed in a way that I needed to cough. People keep saying this, and it's like, this is just a rule. If you're a criminal or a murderer, you're not going to care about this rule. If you want to murder someone, you're not going to care about this rule. This rule only protects a murderer by making sure people don't investigate evidence. But by the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. It leads me to several different conclusions personally, but this statue is actually Babal's Prima Duck's statue. Impossible. It can't be. Larry never once set foot on Bubbly's soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. So, we know that there is at least one very obvious way that something was transported from the other embassy to here and through that cart. And that's just one very obvious way. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an alabastian knife in Babao. So the other way that I was thinking, actually, this just occurred to me when I was reviewing the episodes, is that even the Alba has he's this hunched over guy wearing like a full cloak that covers most of his body all the way down to the ground. That could also be a way for him to smuggle something. So there's at least two very, very plausible ways that even something as big as this statue could be moved. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an alabastian knife in Babal. And Damask too was killed on alabastian soil with Babal's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yatagarasu, who visited both countries, but is definitely not behind this shadow here. That is the plant, 100%, I'm so sure. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form. I mean, I'm trying to put the pieces together myself, but I am also not quite there. I can see how some of them fit together. I can guess at some of the, the overall shapes of the bigger picture, but I can't really put all of it together yet. March 14, 9:21 p.m. open air stage. Oh, cool. Okay. I'm glad that we get to investigate this. I've left the Damask 2 investigation to Francisca and returned to Babal. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into Babal's statue. Mr. Edgeworth! This guy. He's always got his hands like that. So, okay, what's the situation? Oh, it's great. Investigating is so much fun. In other words, they've made absolutely no progress. Well, we weren't goofing off, honest sir. We've been investigating our hearts out. Very well then, would you care to give me an update on your investigation? Oh, we've had a really fun time, sir. I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Gumshoe... Yes, sir? It's really cute that they had a fun time together. You have permission to enter the Alabastian Embassy, is that correct? Yup, he's so proud of it. As a local detective, I'm helping out with investigations on both sides, sir. Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. So we're just getting these out of air. They belong to the lady under the Pink Princess's mask. The Pink Princess? What kind of lady was playing her, sir? The kind that was also playing the role of the Pink Badger yesterday. What? Understood, sir. So I'm guessing that what this is we're just kind of filtering our inventory a little bit. Probably for a whole bunch of new things to come in. If I happen to run into her, I'll give them back to her. And if I don't, then I guess I'll unload them somewhere. He doesn't seem all that enthused to go find her, but I can't blame him. Evidence that has lost their value given to Detective Gumshoe. Now then, I don't believe I'll be needing this anymore either. We're really kind of going through things one by one. What? Are you really going to throw that autograph away? Because it was made by his friend. Yes, because that Steel Samurai was a fake. Edgeworth, who do you consider the real Steel Samurai to be? Like the person that was originally in the costume years and years ago? I mean, they do often change people. Steel Samurai's autograph scrunched up into a ball and disposed of. Oh, he's so bitter. Wait, what? What do you mean by fake? Now then, I believe it's time for a little housekeeping. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Interesting. Okay. So it's a little thinned out, but yeah, not too different. Yeah, it's just those items they mentioned as far as I can see. Oh, right, investigation time. Hey, you're not going back to Alabaster already, are you? No, I just slightly moved a little bit down. No, not yet. I still need to gather a bit more information first. Okay, so I have to be careful where I walk. Ah, so you're back now, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? You must be tired. Here, with these you can eat whatever you'd like. And these are discount tickets for our cafeteria. They open tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I appreciate the concern, however, these coupons do nothing for me right now. It's like this guy has a KPI for just giving them away regardless of whether they're going to be used. This open-air stage, what function does it serve exactly? Well, normally we use it for a variety of events. It's all to attract that extra bit of attention to Babal. I heard that tonight over in the Alabastian Rose Garden, Ambassador Alba was to give a speech. And you know what? Manny told me that I really should give a speech too. Mr. Cochin told you that? Yes, he did. So Manny was either trying to put this guy in harm's way, you know, by saying be in a certain place at a certain time, or perhaps was trying to just get him out of the way, either to protect him or to get him out of the way. Either way, he's trying to encourage you to go somewhere, which is why I thought I should give a speech of my own. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to, because of the fire the Atagarasu started. Exactly. Probably, I'm guessing, just trying to get him out of the, you know, the embassy. Prima Duck statue. Ambassador Paliano, I'd like to ask you a little more about the Prima Duck statues. Oh, I see. Well, let me ask you this. Did you know that Alabast and Babal used to be one country called Codopia? Yes, I know that much about your history. I've heard it many times. Well, the Prima Duck statue belonged to the founders of Codopia. At least that's how the story goes. Why does that look like the Steel Samurai then? It was bequeathed unto the king of Codopia as a symbol of the country's wealth. So it was meant as a symbol of sovereignty and the right to rule, I take it. Yes, that's right, which is why both countries are so adamant about their claim. We hold the real statue, therefore we hold the right to rule, is the reasoning. It's pretty petty when you think about it though, I suppose. Wow, he's saying that. But if Alabasta and Babal were to re-establish relations, shouldn't that put an end to the squabbling over the statue? I have no reason to believe so. The Prima Duck statue is even more important now as a key to diplomacy. I wonder if Ambassador Paliano knows. About what has happened to the very important key to diplomacy. Perhaps I should try showing him this key and see what he has to say about it. Well, I guess we might as well do that now. Is it the other one? Yes, this is it. Whoops. Hang on. I have to press present here. That's it. Ambassador Paliano, if you could please take a look at this for me. The Prima Duck statue sitting in Alabaster right now actually belongs to Babal. So it would appear. I received a call from Ms. Von Karma about this earlier. Oh, okay, he's been prepped. That's why no reaction. Then you will understand why I wish to inspect Babal's Prima Duck statue immediately. Because the statue currently in your country's possession, yes, well, I've already inspected it myself, and it is definitely Alabaster's statue. I know because it's the real statue. So he just sounds like he knew this all along. Then you're saying that Babal's was a replica? I'm embarrassed to say it's true, even though I knew that someday it would be exposed. I don't expect this guy of... I don't suspect this guy of murder. I do suspect that he might have done some other stuff involving, involving the printing press and things. He's more concerned, I think he's more concerned about, economics. But I can imagine that he would have let Manny know this information. I received my orders from the leaders of Babal, and I was to negotiate with Ambassador Alba at this event. I was to negotiate with him and fix the results of the evaluation tonight, to say that we could not determine which statue was the real one.
Hold him!
He's being very, very open about this. Why are you telling me this exactly? Well, because you already figured it out. Our statue is just a hollow gold shell. Hollow. I was suspicious when he said, I've already investigated it. So he could be telling us this so that we don't ask to investigate it because it actually has something important in it. But then if he already knew that, and if it did, why wouldn't he just take it out? I don't know. Even if Babal were to lose face, the reunification of the country is what's important. I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? I'm not making a mistake, right? If you don't know yourself, then I won't pretend to know either. I never thought that by being betrayed by my own secretary, the real symbol of wealth would be given to me. Isn't it simply ironic? I don't know. Maybe I am wrong to not suspect more of this guy. Ambassador Paliano, there's just one thing I'd like to ask you about. Yes? Oh, and don't worry, you can ask me more than just one thing. How about 2 or 3? In exchange, I expect you'll be coming to Babal, yes? Thank you, but just one thing is all I require. Manny Cochin, I'd like to ask you about this man who was your secretary. Sure, I'll tell you what I know. Suspicious reply. Thank you for your cooperation, Ambassador. He was, well, if I had to put it in one word, he was an able man. If there was ever anything I needed as an ambassador, he was able to get it for me. To think that a man like that had a hand in a smuggling ring right under my nose, going completely unnoticed. Alright, did it go completely unnoticed by Baliano? I don't think so. Actually, I suppose because he was an able man, I was unable to detect his dirty dealings. It sounds like Mr. Cochin had a very sharp mind. Recently, Manny had been really busy. Since I became the Bubbly's representative at the Country Unification Council, he's been working tirelessly to cover my work for me. I'm sorry, but what is this Country Unification Council? I've already, I was committing CUC to memory there. Oh, well, you see, had tonight's events proceeded without a hitch, our 2 countries were to reunify and become one again. That's a pretty big deal. That's huge. But I guess with how things turned out, that dream won't be realized anytime soon. I suppose not. Alright, there might be more, but I want to get on with looking around, because we might find something we can take back to him. They're having a real time of it cleaning up after the fire. I suppose we should stay out here and investigate the stage some more then. Is that... I thought something else came up there, but no, that's just him. Just looking at these scaffolds makes me want to climb them. I recommend that you do not try. There was a fire burning here until not too long ago. Yeah, but I think enough time has passed, so it should be alright. Yeah, but it might have weakened the structure. Thief Child says, if there is a height to be scaled, then scale it you must. Thief Child, she calls herself. Starting from Thief Child, would you care to explain what you just said? This is talking to Gumshoe. Hang on, I'll look around first because, again, there might be things that we bring back to them. It would appear that the stage is also scheduled to be renovated. You know, I would love to perform on a stage like this. She wants every job. Something like the greatest great thief show. I should think it would be a bad idea for a thief to show their face to the world. Bags full of cement powder are stacked up here. I suppose they're for the renovation. Murders and a bunch of cement on hand. Yeah, because I don't smell a drop of gold here, or any other treasure for that matter. Kay, the only scent you should detect in a place like this is the smell of sweat. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, that was a pretty good play on words there. Was it? Gummy, don't randomly jump into one of our dialogues like that. Were you eavesdropping on us, Detective Gumshoe? He's only like 1.5 meters away. No, it's not like that, sir. Leave him alone. A chance for a ladder gag, potentially. They swapped positions really suddenly. A ladder. Actually, that's a step ladder, yeah. They're the exact same thing. No way, from their structure up, they're totally different. But of course, from a thief's perspective, the best kind of ladder is the rope ladder. A step ladder is much too heavy to carry around after all. And from a prosecutor's perspective, any type of ladder is guilty of being dangerous during an earthquake. I'm honestly thinking that a big rope ladder would be really heavy to carry around as well. Hang on. There it is. Oh. She's looking around. Hey, do you detect the scent of treasure coming from this bush? The scent of treasure? Not at all. Mr. Edgeworth, you're totally not with it. I'm not with it? No, and it's important for both thieves and prosecutors to be energetic. Perhaps for a thief like you, but that level of energy is unbecoming of a prosecutor. You really think so? That prosecutor we met at Gatewaterland seemed to be pretty active. It's interesting that we're doing such a pointed reference back to him at this stage. I mean, obviously he is, like a part of this wider story. But yeah, it's just interesting that they're kind of signaling him again here, in preparation perhaps. Well, he's not a prosecutor anymore. See how everything just naturally balances out? Okay, so that was the bush, but I thought we would come and look at this. We don't want to look at the giant turned over wheelbarrow. No? Is that... Oh, hang on. I don't know if this is Gumshoe. So how come so many traffic cones are red and white? That's because they're highly visible from a great distance. Oh, is that why? So then the reason you wear that wine red suit is for visibility's sake. Please don't compare me to a ragged plastic traffic cone. That was funny. That's funny. I think that might be all of the... this other bush as well. This bush looks like the perfect place to hide some treasure, but there's no treasure inside those things. Oh, too bad. But we do have a lot of treasures back in Babal. Sounds great, and I'll be sure to pay you guys a visit sometime for a 5-finger discount. Okay, don't say that out loud. Sure, we welcome you anytime. He doesn't know what that means. Are you sure you really want to invite a thief into your country with open arms? I mean, he probably does. He's that desperate. Alright, so this must be next. Mr. Edgeworth, you look like you're enjoying yourself, Detective. Well, I don't have much else that I enjoy as much as a good investigation, sir. So, what did you find out? I take it he has found nothing of any particular use, as usual. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I got something really interesting from Ambassador Palliano. Oh, and what is this something in? I'm sure it's going to be a coupon, right? This, sir. Oh, sorry, that's like the most interesting thing you could possibly come up with. Totally surprised. Wow, that's so pretty. I'm so jealous. That's a real treasure there. That is beautiful. Why does the flame burn green, Detective? So apparently, if you burn the special wit crystal oil that they only make in Babal, it burns this green color, sir. It burns green. Interesting. So it's a special property of the oil. I suppose this is a ploy to force people to visit Babal should the oil run out. Well, this is 100% going to be necessary information. Hey Gummy, what about those silhouettes? They stuck some cutouts on the outside of the lantern so it'd project the images. So I mean, obviously I'm thinking of that big projection of the Atagarasu, except I really did think that was the plant, because we have this thing that neatly looks like I still think that's the plant, because the plant is specifically designed in a way to to weirdly look just like that silhouette. Oh? Maybe this is just to give you the idea of silhouettes. Maybe that's it. Oh, silhouettes, huh? They are rather pretty, aren't they? Wait, what am I doing? I was supposed to be asking for an update on the investigation. We got one, Edgeworth. We got one. This is very useful. Hey, what's wrong, sir? There's something I want you to investigate for me. Do you think you can do that much? Uh-huh. You got it, sir. Hey, that's not fair. Why is Gummy getting to do all the fun stuff? Well, that's because I'm Mr. Edgeworth's partner. I mean, it is true. It is true. But... I can't believe you took advantage of the confusion and stole my role as assistant. Yeah, I guess she is. I guess she is the assistant. I mean, she has been, at this point, it's kind of just the way we've been operating. I expect the two of you to get along and work together like professionals on this. There we go. It's a bubbly souvenir, runs on wet crystal oil, which burns green. Silhouette lantern. So we've got a few nice tasty bits of info there. Hey, where are you going? Are you headed back to Alabast? Yes, but before I do, I suppose I should give you a summary of what's happened. Oh, I see. So there's been a murder in both countries using an object from the other country? That's the gist of it. Babal is just as strict as Alabast in their inspection of the people and things that enter their country, meaning that somehow both murder weapons were smuggled into the two countries. That's the only logical conclusion that can be drawn. Perhaps the key to the weapon smuggling is the person who traversed both countries. You mean the fake Yatagarasu? In one way or another, the Yatagarasu is connected. Of this, I am sure. Now then, where was the Yatagarasu first spotted? I believe it was the rose garden on the Alabastian side of the embassy. The garden is just on the other side of this boundary. It's where Ambassador Albert was to give a speech tonight. At least, that's where I heard the Yatagarasu had appeared. In that case, I believe it's vital that I investigate the rose garden post-haste. Wait, before you go, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this the... I'm going to guess immediately that this is the bit that fell, or that came off of the knife, like the Alabastian knife handle. Because I've been waiting for that to come up, and that looks like it. What is it? My guess is that it's a guitar pick. I picked it up just now over there. Picked it up, big guitar pick, picked it up. Yeah. Do you think it'll be of any use? There is a little water on it, but how did the water get on it? Water. It's probably to do with the rose garden. It doesn't look like there's anything it could get wet from around here. Yeah, I'm going to guess it'll be in the rose garden area. There'll be like a fountain or something. I was thinking they have concerts here at this open air stage from time to time, right? Alright, I'll find its owner later. Found at the open air stage. It looks like a guitar pick. It's also wet for some reason. Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of... There doesn't need to be water in the environment for there to have been water somehow. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Mr. Edgeworth, would you be willing to hold on to this? What is this? It's misused perfume. It's the bottle that woman left behind and that I found 7 years ago. I thought that one day it'd be of some use in tracking her down. Dog, we have missile. We have missile. So I kept it safe all this time. Thank you. I'd be honored to hold on to it for you. Would she still be using that 7 years later? Maybe. I mean, I guess so. Oh, there we go. We left. I didn't really mean to do that. I guess it looks like we can probably go back in. It's the national flag of Babal, and it features the country's butterfly crest. Using a butterfly as a national symbol makes Babal just seem so cute. It goes along perfectly with Ambassador Palliano's smiling face. And what about the flower of Alabast? Well, by the looks of Ambassador Alba, it almost seems like the poor flower needs to be watered. I suppose an ambassador is the face of a country, but Kay is being too literal about it. These flowers were sent by Global Studios. Global Studios? That's where they filmed the Still Samurai television show. They've been producing hit after hit recently, so the studio is being remodeled. Oh, I read about that in the papers the other day. The mascot of theirs is also getting a facelift too, right? What's its name? You mean Mrs. Monkey? Yeah, I thought it was something like that. You really have a great memory. He's a huge fan. Ha, never underestimate my powers of recollection. He's not admitting to it, outwardly. There is a flat panel, a VCR, and a row of Still Samurai videos on this table. Aren't they worried that if they leave the tapes out on the tables like this, the Yatagarasu will make off with them? I honestly doubt the Yatagarasu would want to steal Still Samurai videotapes. I mean, that's big coming from Edgeworth. Ah, but that's where you're wrong. The fake Yatagarasu may not want to steal them. But you never know with the real Yatagarasu. Please stop eyeing the tapes with that look of want in your eyes, Kay. Yeah, I was just worried that clicking on this might move us, but we saw the show just beyond these doors, but it's been quite a number of hours now. Mr. Edgeworth, have I ever told you that you talk like an old fogey? I was merely reminiscing. Is that such a crime? Those are some nice flowers. I wonder who they're from. Gatewater Imperial Hotel? Where's this, Mr. Edgeworth? Ah, it's an ultra-luxurious hotel that sponsors the Still Samurai series. I've been there once to investigate a case. Oh? So what kind of case was it? It's very similar and it had many of the same characters there. I believe it was related to the Nickel Samurai and the Jammer Ninja. Oh, I remember reading about that. You must be the head of Still Samurai Affairs down at the prosecutor's office, huh? I should think that even you can figure that such an office does not exist, Kay. There we go. I can see the courtyard in the Alabastian embassy through this window. It's a really stately and pretty embassy, isn't it? Especially the chimney. Just looking at it makes me want to use it to sneak my way in. Apparently this is common. Kind of like how Santa does it. Hey, are you alright? What's wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm beginning to think that you may have what it takes to become a royal troublemaker. I mean, I guess she is already, right? It's the national flag of Alabast, and it features the country's flower crest. Comparing the bloodied knife to the crest, it's apparent the knife was extremely well crafted. Yeah, every detail of the flower is there on the knife handle's flower. Just, making sure everybody looks at the flower on the handle. In my professional opinion, this knife is worth quite a bit of money. Okay, that's a very valuable piece of evidence. I know that. You're going to use this to find and steal the truth, right? I suppose you could put it that way. Now let's continue investigating. So, can I... Oh, no, that's talking to Kay. Well, let's talk to Kay. How is the investigation going in the Bubbly's Secretariat's office? She's been standing around with us the whole time. Well, even though we found a few treasures, they've all been pretty much burnt to a crisp. A treasure is a terrible thing to waste. Anyway, is there anything else I should know about? Oh, that's right. You know what I found in that office? A wooden bear carving. It's so cute. Can I have it, huh? Can I? No, of course you can. By the sound of things, it appears that there's been no progress in the investigation. Do we have anything to present to Kay that might be interesting? Kay, about this piece? No, right, nothing. I don't know. I really want to get somebody reacting to this, like just looking at these flowers in a bit more detail. I don't know why it would be Kay. All right. I think I'll be returning to the So is that it? Like, are we done? Are we done here? I know. I'll go back to Babal and do some more investigating there. I don't know if we can go back and forth or if we're just saying that's that. Aha! A big fountain. Or not a fountain, I suppose. Well, no, it's a kind of a fountain, isn't it? It's a fountain. Yeah, it's a fountain. Rose garden. I see you're back, Miles Edgeworth. How are things in Babal? Although I can't really say I expect much from Scruffy and that girl. The investigation into Manikochin's death hasn't really progressed any. However, the investigation into the Yatagarasu has. Ah yes, the Yatagarasu. Even now I find it hard to believe. A person who can freely traverse between the two countries at will? Preposterous. Well, that's what I came here to investigate. I heard that this is where the witnesses claim to have seen the Yatagarasu. That's correct. Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight here in Alabast. And that's when the Yatagarasu appeared. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared, and just as suddenly, it vanished. I mean, it doesn't... I'm going to say that doesn't have a green glow, though. Just, I don't know if the green glow thing relates to this light source, but it doesn't seem like it, right? The thing is, though, that as far as I can tell from this image, the light source seems to be low down. It doesn't look like it's coming from above. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared, and just as suddenly, it vanished. After that, there was the fire at the Babalese embassy that the Yatagarasu started. Allegedly. I vow that not a single feather from the Yatagarasu shall escape my diligence. It's going to be a leaf. It's a leaf, Edgeworth. And also, this is a leaf in the fountain, but that's not what we're looking at. A statue of a woman. I wonder if the lady is pouring water. It says that it's a statue of the queen who spoke of love to King Primadux. That's interesting. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it seems that you are lousy at reading a woman's heart. I opened my mouth about a statue and she somehow made the leap to that. Oh, hang on. So this is the fountain itself. There are roses scattered on the surface of the water, creating a pleasant fragrance. It's not just for aesthetics. This pool's water is also used in putting out fires? Is it common enough that that's its usage? I see. Oh. The pool stopped filling itself automatically. The fountain spouts are set to stay open until the pool's water reaches a certain level. Alright, this is obviously an important dynamic. The fountain spouts stay open until the pool's water reaches a certain level. If this water is used to put out fires, I suppose it must be refilled to its normal level, which suggests that this pool was recently used, somehow, in this embassy. I guess I'll take some notes about it, just in case. It's a good idea. Alright. Noted. Oh! He's the best! No! Ooh-ah! How dare you surprise me like that? I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Edgy, thanks for what you did back there. Your gratitude alone is enough. More importantly, Larry, this pool is not for your personal enjoyment. I know that. Do you really think that I'm the type to just jump into a pool and swim around for fun? Objection! Yeah, 100%. Alright then, did you by chance fall into the pool? Nice guess, but no dice. So you know my son, right? Edgy? Your son? You mean the Steel Samurai's baby? Oh my god. I guess I kind of lost sight of him when I shook hands with the ambassador. And I'm pretty sure he was around here when I last saw him. You imbecile, how can you be so flippant at a time like this? What are you going to do if your son fell into the pool? And how old is this child of yours anyway? Huh? Oh, how old is he again?
Hold it!
Larry, this is the first I've heard of a son. Who exactly is the mother? The mother? Oh, that chick, the pink princess. The pink Princess? Ms. Von Karma. I was a bit confused by this man's words for a bit there. However, I believe what he is looking for is the doll of the Iron Infant. Yep, because I am the Steel Samurai through and through, heart and soul. And the Iron Infant is my cute little son. You have given a whole new meaning to the phrase, an astounding fool. Larry, we have not seen hide nor hair of the Iron Infant, but rest assured that if we should find him, we'll let you know. Now get out of here. So the infant itself, it's a doll, I guess, so let's say that. The infant itself is missing, and potentially it's missing with the other contents of the, like it was in the cart. So maybe whatever was being transported in that cart, has involved the disappearance of the infant as well. Sounds good. In that case, I'll go search over there. Off it goes. Hey, wait! Well, it's not as if he'll get very far swimming around in that pool. And though he's unrelated to the murders, he sure knows how to cause a lot of trouble. Well, we gotta look at this. This statue bears a resemblance to the Primadux statue. The plaque says King Primadux and the battlefield. In order to save the Queen, King Primadux put his life on the line and went to war. So Primadux was actually a person of royal blood? Yeah, this was implied before that it was an actual king. I thought he was simply someone imitating a character from an ancient legend. Well, what surprises me is that a real person who looks like the Steel Samurai existed. I suppose there's that too. I mean, it could be just coincidence, it could be that one is based on the other. Like, obviously the king, the actual king, historical king, can't be based on the Steel Samurai, but is it possible that something in the Steel Samurai's design is based on this king? It's, yeah, a bit weird. These are some beautiful roses here. They appear to be well maintained. Oh, look at him. He looks very romantic. This is a very romantic pose. You're being too nice, Miles Edgeworth. The arrangement is devoid of any design sense. It's really interesting that they've actually given him a sprite for this. Roses only truly shine when they are grouped by colour, one colour per location. It makes me think that the reason that exists is for, there's a more important reason in the game that sprite exists. Maybe we've already seen it and I've forgotten about it. Yeah, or maybe it will come up later. They lose their beauty when they're all mixed together like this. I can't tell if she's being sarcastic or not. On second thought, there's a rather serious look on her face. I'd better leave it be. They should really rethink the proper balance of these roses. Of all the people to comment on the proper balance of things. Okay, we've got these. So, I mean, it seems likely that these will be our light source for the silhouette. There is an overturned spotlight here. When the Yatagarasu appeared, the audience that was waiting for the speech to start panicked. I suppose that's when someone must have knocked it over. I'm having a tough time visualizing the mass confusion that took place here. That's exactly what I was just thinking in my head. Exactly. I was just thinking, sorry, the audience panicked and presumably got into some sort of state of chaos just because a Yatagarasu silhouette appeared. Is that cause for chaos? Oh, sorry. I thought to use my whip to capture the Yatagarasu. However, there were people in my way and I was unable to land even a single lash. I suppose this means that some other poor saps were hit instead. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. Alright, there we go. Powered up, ready for moving on. Before we chat, so we can't go up the stairs. So this is where Ambassador Alba was to give his speech. The stage was set up nicely, however, where was the audience supposed to sit? Perhaps they were supposed to sit around the edge of the pool? That's such poor planning. If there was no place other than a spot or two by the pool, they really should have made seating arrangements like how the gallery is set up in court. Indeed, you can sense that consideration for the viewers was taken with those. So in the end, the speaker and his audience were to stand the whole time, huh? Yes, although I suspect the audience would have liked to sit down after a while. Probably the old man speaker as well. But what I'm curious about is they keep talking about Alba should have been doing something, but actually where was he? Like, was he here, visible? Oh, hang on, is there anything else over here? Yes, there is more roses. Is it possible that the Yatagarasu hid in these bushes? Of course not. They're rose bushes. You've been spending so much time with Scruffy and that girl. They're rubbing off on you. But it's all right. I'll wake you up out of your stupor. Ouch. Now, the next time you feel like sleep talking, remember that I'll whip you for real. All I tried to do was offer up a possibility, and this is what I get. I mean, look, it can't be unusual. You've spent a lot of time with her. Can we look at this little... Yeah, we can. This little conspicuous orange... I suppose Ambassador Alba sat on this chair. That's what I wanted to know. Ambassador Alba is very elderly. The chair was prepared for him so should he have gotten tired during his speech. In that case, why didn't he plan to make his speech sitting down in the first place? The ambassador is also quite prideful, that's why. He sounds like my old principal from grade school who'd speak at assemblies. Okay, so maybe that is that. We can't look at that different light. Dun, 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 dun. Have you finished checking out all the bystanders? Yes, sir. And we found 14 counts of pickpocketing, 16 counts of illegal parking, and 1 person ran a light, sir. That was an unbelievable amount of pickpocketing. The other ones make sense. Don't tell me you didn't find out anything related to the case. Sir, not a single thing, sir. Well, for now, let's just get those other lawbreakers down to the precinct. Agent Lang, well, if it isn't Mr. Prosecutor, I would just like to thank you for your assistance earlier. Make no mistake, it's not like I was trying to help you with what I did. After I left, did you receive word from Ambassador Alba? We're to wrap up our bodyguard assignments at the end of today. Oddly enough, we received word from HQ to return home on an urgent manner. Heh, as if I can be so easily called away from the case after I've come this far. I swear that I'll find the truth and drag it out screaming into the night. You're with me on that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? I mean, I think we are. The Yatagarasu's appearance. You were working as Ambassador Alba's bodyguard at the time. So naturally, you witnessed when the Yatagarasu appeared, correct? Yeah, I saw the thief all right, with my own 2 eyes. I'm not doing much of the gravelly voice for him because I think at the moment it's just going to be a bit too harsh on my throat, so that's why I'm only kind of bringing it out every now and again. The Yatagarasu was always there, lurking in the shadows. But when the spotlights were turned on for Ambassador Alba's speech, a shadow appeared. That's when cries of, "It's the Yatagarasu!" rang out. The next second, the spotlight went out. And by the time we got the area lit again, the deft thief had vanished. Well, you only saw a shadow. For a second. When we investigated afterwards, we found that the reason the lights went out was because someone had unplugged the extension plug for all the outdoor electronics. Whether it was someone doing it on purpose, or simply a guest who had tripped over it, we don't know. Was it like one single plug? The Yatagarasu was here. So you're saying that basically all you saw was the thief's silhouette? Yes. And they're using the word silhouette. The word silhouette is going to be in our head from the light that we saw, that we got.
Objection!
If all you saw was a shadow, then it's entirely possible that the shadow belonged to someone else. Ha! Good thinking, sis. You just might be right. Oh, he agrees with her. If it weren't for the fact that there was no one else with the same shape, well, there may... Okay. So that's his argument. Not among the staff or the audience members. Yeah, but you do understand about a silhouette, right? You do understand how a silhouette works. My men have already done a thorough check of everyone, so I know I'm right. We did silhouette analysis on every person. Someone else's shadow? That sounds like a plausible hypothesis. Or something. The suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. I believe I've figured out it's true. Already? Like he just considered it for a second and he's got it. I expect no less from my subordinate. Now let's hear what you know on the subject. What really cast the shadow of the Yatagarasu? So we're talking about here then. Look, I gotta say, I really was so sure about that plant, but I feel like they're implying otherwise. And it kind of feels like this statue is what's being suggested. But, I mean, it's not... It doesn't have that silhouette to it. Okay, so her fingers could be the spiky bits that come out. Her fingers and her head? Maybe? In a weird, twisted way? Okay, I actually went back to look at the recording just to have a look at the statue again. So yeah, I think like the only thing that makes sense is the fingers here, but also, you know, like obviously this is a very weird pose, and so this head must be the face, like the head and the face of the Yatagarasu silhouette. And I suppose it's a bit, you know, like the head could be a part of it. I don't know how they go, but it's definitely the fingers and this other statue's head. So let's do this. The suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. Is it not possible that it was created by this statue? Are you playing me for a fool, Miles Edgeworth? This statue bears absolutely no resemblance to the shadow of the Yatagarasu. You are correct. However, this statue is but one part of the whole picture. What do you mean by only one part? He's getting ready to do something cool. Yeah, so it's definitely these two in combination. I'll point it towards the head. I don't really know what the sword bit could be doing, but I suppose that's just to make this a kind of a... Maybe it's just to make this a believable pose for a king statue. The Yatagarasu's shadow was made from the shadows of these two statues. Made? What do you mean by that? Right now, the spotlights are all over the place. This is because they were moved when the guests were in a panicked state. However, if we were to restore the lights to where they were when the thief appeared... Okay. So you have light coming from one side and a light coming from the other side, and the two shadows... Yeah, that makes sense. That's how the shadows are combining. You believe that the two shadows will create the Yatagarasu's shadow? Precisely. Now then, watch as I reveal the true form of the Yatagarasu. First, if we set up a spotlight to cast a shadow on King Primadux in the battlefield. Do they know how to set these spotlights up? The shadow of the king statue, there we go. Ah, so the sword is one of the spiky bits, and the hand, it's going to be combined with the hand? Even though, you know, like the Yatagarasu's... I guess it's that perspective thing, because the Yatagarasu's sort of, the shadow feathers are all spiky. And the hand, obviously, fingers are not spiky, but... likewise, if we set a light up on the queen who spoke of love to King Primadux, her silhouette would also appear on the backdrop to the stage. Am I... How are they going to... how are they going to skew this? Aha! So if we were to combine the two shadows, it looks nothing like the Yatagarasu's shadow. I mean, I pictured that it was going to be a bit different to this, like that the light source is going to be, yeah, like set up in such a way to really skew the... Miles Edgeworth, how do you explain this grotesque shape? Calm down, Francisca. The way the light needs to be shone on the queen's statue is wrong. Yeah. What do you mean by that? I believe that the whole of the king's shadow needs to be used for this to work. However, In the case of the queen, I don't believe her whole shadow is needed. Rather, the person who created the shadow only used one part of her shadow. Sorry, do you mean to say that somebody did this on purpose and that it's not just a freak occurrence? Because this is, it's a lot. First off, it's very creative to even think of this in the first place. Like, you would need to play around with this a lot. Only one part. Yes, and that one part alone is enough to fill the rest of the Yatagarasu's shadow. Obviously, it's a hand. Why didn't you say that in the first place? You're right, I apologize. Now, what part, I knew they were going to ask this, what part of the statue was used? It's the hand.
Take that!
What do you take me for, game? A fool? Think back to what is missing in her shadow. 5 long, thin areas, correct? Now, what does that remind you of? That's right, it can only be the shadow of the Queen's left hand. Francisca, can we please adjust the spotlight's position so that it only shines on the Queen's left hand? Alright, let's give it a try and see what we get. I mean, the hand was the most obvious thing from the start, even though, of course, they come out as very claw-like. It's... yeah, this is exactly like the shadow I saw. The culprit must have changed the spotlight's positioning beforehand, and then pulled the plug after people saw what the culprit wanted them to see. In their panic, the guests must have moved the spotlights around, which we can assume was also a part of the culprit's plan. Can't believe I was so sure about that plant. Now I don't know why that plant... I don't know if that plant has a role except looking like Alba, like as a joke. By the time the lights came back on, the Yatagarasu's shadow had vanished, which means that the shadow was a construct from the very beginning. So you see, the Yatagarasu never did visit Alabast tonight. The only country that thief visited was Babal, although it can be assumed that the Yatagarasu had an accomplice in Alabast. An accomplice? But who? I haven't figured that out yet, but I assume it was the person who set up the shadow show. I sense that the biggest clue yet to solving this case is the existence of this accomplice. By the way, because he said shadow show, it reminded me of a song that I love from a really amazing Swedish band called I Am I Who Am I? And they have a song called Shadow Show that is really cool. Wow, I can't believe I was wrong. Investigation complete. And this is the perfect place to end this episode for today. Investigation complete. Me finding out I was totally wrong about that plant that I was so sure of, but at least we have an answer. We have an answer about what's going on with this shadow. And yeah, the very interesting news about an accomplice. So we'll find out in the next episode who it is coming in here. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Take care.